Hi, I'm Ashleigh and this is a storytime video about how me, my friend Beth and Rhiannon found a missing 9-year-old boy. Just for safety, I'm going to change the boy's name to Bobby. In the summer, we're just hanging out. We're in Beth's car, so we're going to park in a car park where we're going to meet some of our mates and hang out. So we're just sat there in the car, listening to some music and having a laugh. There's another group of people on the other side of the car park that we don't know any of them. And we notice there's a little kid with them, so we just assume it's someone's little brother or something. And one of our friends kind of turns up and goes over to their group, so we're like, well, let's go and say hello to him. So we walk over and we say hello and we hang out with them for about half an hour. And then this, two guys come over to our group. They're a little bit older than kind of us. They're mid-20s. And most of the kids there were 18, I'm going to say 17, 18 years old. Me being one of the oldest ones. These two guys come over, they must be mid-20s. They just start having this argument with these boys that were there. And we were like, okay, this is a bit weird, let's kind of back up and just kind of watch it play itself out. So these guys just start having an argument, and one of the boys that's arguing with this guy just straight up runs away, just runs off into this grassland and goes behind some trees, and we're just like, shit, what's going on? The boy that ran away, his mate was trying to kind of settle the argument, calm the other guy down, and he ends up getting kicked in the head, which is absolutely mental. And we're all just kind of stood there shit, what? It turns out the guy that come over that's having the argument with these guys is a pro boxer, and we're just like, shit, okay, let's back up. Well, we don't want to get involved in this. This 9-year-old kid that's there as well, he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna back up. We were just kind of like, okay, this is it's getting late, everyone should kind of go home now. And all the boys that were there, they all kind of left, and our mate left as well. So it was just me, Beth, Rhiannon, and this little kid. And we noticed that he hadn't gone home with everyone else. They all left. They're all in their cars on their mopeds and stuff, and they just left this 9-year-old kid with us. And we're like, okay, well, come over to Beth's car with us. We're just gonna go and sit in there and listen to some music, so you can hang out with us for a little bit, kind of thing. So he comes over, and Rhiannon's asking loads of questions. So he's like, oh, what's your name? How old are you? Sort of thing. And he's like, oh, I'm 9. My name's Bobby. And oh yeah, I don't know any of the other people that were over there. And we're like, you don't know any of them? Why are you here? He's like, oh, I'm just out. I'm just hanging out. And we're like, okay, now by now it's 9:30, 10 o'clock in the evening. So we're like, well, it's getting a bit late, shouldn't you go home? And he's like, no, it's okay, I only live over there. And we're like, oh, okay, alright then. And then he tells us an address, but we didn't know what he was saying. We were just like, we don't know where that is. He keeps telling us this address, and we're just like, well, we don't know where that is, but we'll assume that you lived close. And we kind of decided, oh, we're a bit hungry, we're gonna go around to KFC and get some chips and some chicken. Bobby's got his bike, he's riding around the car park on his bike. Rhiannon's like, well, I'll walk around with you and your bike, and then these two can drive in Beth's car. So me and Beth drive off in her car, and we're just kind of sat in the car what the fuck do we do? There's a 9-year-old kid here. What? This is mental. So we're like, what the fuck do we do? So we call Beth's mum, who's a social worker, and her mum's just like, you need to call the police right now. And we're like, okay. So as soon as Rhiannon and Bobby get over to us, to the other side of the car park, Rhiannon's like, I'm going to buy him some dinner, he hasn't eaten yet. And it's 10 o'clock at night, and he had not eaten all day, and we're like, shit, go buy him some food. So we're just ring the police straight away, look, there's a kid here, he's 9, he hasn't eaten, he hasn't got a phone on him, he keeps telling us where he lives, but we don't know where it is, what do we do? And as soon as the woman on the phone's like, oh, what's his name, is it Bobby? And I'm like, shit, yeah, this is that kid. She's like, okay, I'm sending a patrol car to you, where are you? So we're like, okay, well, we're outside KFC. And within a minute, this car just pulls around the corner with all the lights flashing and stuff, and we're like, shit, that must be for us. We thought it'd be another 10 minutes before a car would show up. We didn't think it was that important. And as soon as they park up, one officer gets out, goes straight over to Bobby, and he's like, oh, hi, I'm officer whatever, I don't know his name. We're going to take you home now. And the other officer comes over to me and Beth and is like, oh, are you the girls that rang? We're like, yeah, we called. And she's like, okay, well, Bobby's been missing since 5 o'clock this afternoon. He's been missing all afternoon. He didn't come home for dinner. And we're like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, we've got like loads of cars out looking for him. He's a high priority case. Thank you for finding him. And we're like, shit, you're welcome. We don't really know what to do. We're all like, oh my god. And as soon as she says like, look, this kid's been missing all afternoon. He hasn't eaten or anything. We're like, shit. And then Rhiannon and Beth start crying because they're like, oh my god, we found this kid. He's missing. And I'm just like, what's just happened? So they get Bobby into the back of the police car, and we're like, oh, bye Bobby, it's nice to meet you, like, get home safe, like, they're gonna look after you now. And we give the police officers our names and like numbers, phone numbers for the mum, Bobby's mum, to ring us later on. And she does, she rings us about half an hour later, and we, by this time Rhiannon's gone home, but she calls Beth, and we put her on speaker and we say, hi, like, we found your son, like, is he home, is he safe? And she's like, yeah, he's home, he's fine now, he's just getting into bed, put a DVD on, like. And then she just starts crying down the phone, like, so loudly. She's like, oh my god, thank you so much. And we're just like, because she's crying, we both start, like, burst into tears, and everyone's really emotional. So yeah, that's how we found a 9-year-old boy, and made sure that he got home safe. And yeah, if you like these kind of storytime videos of stuff that's happened to me and my friends, then please give it a thumbs up and a little comment. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you again in another video if you click subscribe just down below. Thank you for watching. Bye! It's like the weirdest video that I've ever made.